Low Parallettes, RaMaSS, Barriorzz, CalisthenixPro, Marmati, FitnessKit, Gornation, ThenX, Ringe and Gorletic, Caliathletics, Gravity Fitness, Kinetik, Kensui, Pull Up and Dip, and BarmaniaPro. So those are a lot of low parallettes. We have 20 to be exact, by 16 different brands. And actually we checked out different categories of parallettes before. So we checked out the mini parallettes or the push-up bars. And those are great because they're compact and easy to transport. And also we checked out the medium parallettes, and those are great for the exercise variety. And these of course are the most stable parallettes. So the low parallettes are a great category if you want to do the more advanced exercises. So what should you be looking for when you are buying low parallettes? So of course you want very stable parallettes, but besides that also the anti-slip are very important, because you don't want to start slipping when you are, for instance, doing Maltese, which of course is a very advanced exercise. And besides that, you also want to have a very good grip. And all of these are 38 millimeters up to 42 millimeters. And this is actually a great range. So we will mostly be talking about the grip feel. And of course, you can always customize this with some grip tape or chalk. And we actually would advise you to do so if you are getting the metal parallettes, because with these, if you start sweating, you will definitely start slipping. But with that in mind, we will be discussing all of these as they are. So within low parallettes, we have 4 categories. So we have, as said, the metal parallettes, and then we also have our favorite category, which is the wooden parallettes. And then we also have the ergonomic grip parallettes and the foam ones. So first of all are the foam parallettes. And of course you can see that we have a wooden parallette over here as well. But Barmania gives you the option to choose between the foam and the wooden grip. And over here we have the Caliathletics foam parallettes, but honestly we are not a big fan of foam because it's quite squishy, and because of that you have less grip compared to a wooden or metal grip. And actually this is of course to relieve your hands, but we think it should always be the goal to outgrow the foam. And actually this happens quite quickly, so then you're left with a parallette you don't really want. And also if you are using these low parallettes for the more advanced exercises, then the foam definitely doesn't make any sense. So basically we don't really recommend them. So next up are the ergonomic grips, and over here we have the pull up and dip parallettes, and then we have the Kensui parallettes. And actually the ergonomic grip is used by gymnasts to relieve the wrist, so this can definitely be nice. We personally are a bigger fan of rounded grips, but we think it comes down to personal preference. And actually with both of these we've tested them out quite well before, and with this one it doesn't have a very good sideways stability. And also this one is not perfect. We think that the base should be wider, but with this one we don't really like the anti-slip feet because they come off. So while we would actually recommend ergonomic grips in general, we don't really recommend any of these options. So then our favorite category, the wooden grips, because these of course they take up your sweat, and because of that you'll start slipping less. And when it comes to the grip, you also don't want the smoothest or the roughest grip. You want somewhere in between. Of course there are different designs, so you have fully wooden ones, but you also have ones with a metal part, and you have ones with interlocking systems, and maybe you like a specific design as well. But let's have a look at our 3 criteria. So the parallettes by Ringe, they are quite small for low parallettes, but they were super stable to the front and back and also to the side. And when it comes to the anti-slip feet, these are actually quite good. We did test them out quite heavily. So the pressures we put on these actually usually wouldn't get that during your exercises, but it definitely did move a bit. And when it comes to the grip, it is quite smooth, but these are very nice parallettes. So when it comes to the Gornation parallettes, these wooden ones, they're actually less stable than the Ringe parallettes, so they tilt more quickly to the side, to the front and to the back. They are quite good. And when it comes to the anti-slip feet, these actually seem to be better than the Ringe parallettes, but honestly those were already good enough, and I do think that the stability is more important. And when it comes to the grip, I know that this one has the same grip as the Ringe parallettes, so it's quite a smooth grip, but now we tested it out with this grip tape, which is very nice. But honestly, so far, I do like the Ringe parallettes better. So when it comes to these Gornation parallettes, unlike the other 2, these are definitely the usual length that we're used to. And when it comes to the stability, these are actually super stable. I really tried to move them, but I wasn't able to. And when it comes to the anti-slip feet, I also really tried to move them. They did move slightly, but they definitely do their job.
And when it comes to the grip, this is also quite smooth, but I definitely like these Parallettes. Then the Eric Flag Parallettes. This one actually, it tilts way too quickly to the side. Forward and backwards, it's much better, but it's still not good enough. And when it comes to the anti-slip feet, these definitely moved, so this is not so nice. And the grip, this is a little rougher than the other ones. It's not as smooth, but still, I don't really like these Parallettes. The ThenX Low Parallettes, of course, these are fully wooden, and when it comes to the stability, this one actually is possible to tilt to the side when you're, for instance, in an L-sit, so this is not so nice. And when it comes to the forward and backward stability, this is definitely very good because they are quite long. And when I tested out the anti-slip feet, these have two little squares over here, and actually we know that from the mini Parallettes, they have a full strip, and those are actually very nice. But when I tested these out, they were definitely not as good. And when it comes to the grip, this is also quite smooth, so these Parallettes also won't win. Alright, so Kensui. So obviously the thing about low Parallettes is that they should have a wide base. It is very narrow, so it really quickly tilts to the side, and this is definitely not nice, almost dangerous. And when it comes to the forward and backward stability, it's quite okay, of course, because they are quite long. When it comes to the anti-slip feet, forward, they definitely slip very easily, and to the side, it was better, but still I shot out at some point, so this is not nice. The grip is fine though, but this product definitely will not win this comparison. And then Kinetik. So Kinetik is a new brand. I didn't know it before I saw these Parallettes. These are quite high Parallettes, and I was curious whether it was going to be stable. And forward and backward stability is definitely very nice, but when it comes to the sideways, they could definitely tilt. Then I hoped that the anti-slip feet would fix some of the stability, but honestly it didn't. It did definitely move as well. And when it comes to the grip, it has a more rough grip, and actually I really like it. One thing that is noticeable on this one is that the engraving here on the side is actually deep, so there's a texture there, and I didn't really like it. It does give you good grip, but it's not as comfortable. So yeah, overall this one won't win, but definitely a nice newcomer. So Gravity Fitness. So this one is definitely the longest low Parallette I've seen, and because of that, it's quite nice to do a straight bar handstand on it. But when it comes to the stability of this one, the sideways stability, it is definitely possible to tilt it, which is not so nice. Of course, the forward and backward stability is going to be super good because of the length. When it comes to the anti-slip feet, these are actually not nice. They moved very quickly on different surfaces we tried out, so these are definitely lacking. And when it comes to the grip, it is more smooth, but still quite a nice grip. But overall, these definitely don't win because they are not stable enough, and also they slip too quickly. So Gorletic. So Gorletic makes amazing wooden Parallettes, and we are a big fan. And when it comes to the stability, this one, it is possible to move it to the side, but it definitely is quite stable. And when it comes to the front and backward stability, it's super nice. And actually these anti-slip feet, they are the best anti-slip feet we have seen so far. So these definitely don't slip. And also when it comes to the grip, this is actually the sweet spot when it comes to the grip. So it's not too rough, but it is also definitely not smooth. So I really like it. So this one is definitely up there. So next up, the Low Fit Pros by Gorletic. And again, these have a wooden grip. The stability is ridiculous. It's actually super good. When it comes to the anti-slip feet, they seem to be the same, but for some reason this time it slipped slightly, but still they're very good anti-slip feet. And when it comes to the grip of this one is really meant for the pros. So it is a really rough grip, and in my opinion, this is quite uncomfortable on the hands, but I can imagine if you want to do a Maltese or any other very advanced exercises, then you might just need this extra grip. But for me, the others were perfect. So these definitely are nice, but I prefer the others. So BarmaniaPro. So this one is actually very stable, so it was very difficult to tilt it to the side, also forward and backwards. It's completely fine, but then we took it to a smooth floor and it slipped way too quickly. But even when I did a wide push-up on this floor, it also slipped. So the anti-slip feet are definitely lacking. And when it comes to the grip, it is quite smooth, it's not too bad, but honestly, because of the anti-slip feet, this one won't win. So Caliathletics. So this one, of course, is also one piece of wood. This one is also very stable. So if I really tried, I could move it to the side, but it was super stable, forward and backwards, super nice. And actually the anti-slip feet, they are also quite good, but to the side they slightly moved, but they definitely do their job. And when it comes to the grip, this one is also actually quite the sweet spot when it comes to the smoothness versus the roughness. So I really like these, so they are definitely up there. So within the wooden category, there's no perfect Parallettes, but these three definitely stand out and they're all great Parallettes. So the Ringe Parallettes, they are perfectly stable, but they are a bit short. And besides that, they slightly slip and they have quite smooth grip. The Gornation one though is also super stable, and also that one slips slightly and is quite smooth. But when it comes to the Gorletic one, this one has a perfect grip in our opinion, and also the anti-slip feet are super nice. But with this one, it is possible to tilt it to the side. With this one, I really like the interlocking system as well though, and when it comes to the Gornation one, this has been my favorite for a long time. And the Ringe Parallettes, they have definitely surprised me. They're actually super good. And this one is actually also the cheapest out of all of these, so they are 60 euros, and the Gornation one is 100 euros, and the Gorletic one is 70 euros. And actually, if I would have to put my money on either of these, it would be the Gorletic one, because I really like the interlocking system, plus it is also very well priced. So then the metal Parallettes, and of course metal Parallettes, they don't take up your sweat, so we would recommend you to use some chalk or grip tape. And then we have the Barriorzz Parallettes, we have RaMaSS, Marmati, FitnessKit and CalisthenixPro. And these three are actually powder coated steel, and of course we have the black and the orange ones. And these, the FitnessKit, they are quite smooth, and these basically look like a barbell. And Marmati actually makes sustainable products, and FitnessKit makes fully weatherproof products, and these of course look super robust. So because of that, all of these three are in a higher price range compared to these two, but let's test them out. So when it comes to the grip of the Barriorzz Parallettes, these are actually super nice, and definitely if you use some chalk, you won't start slipping. And also when it comes to stability, these are actually great. I couldn't even move them when I tried. But one thing which is sad about this one is that the anti-slip feet, they are definitely not good enough. They start sliding on both floors that we tried, and they even come off. So this is not nice at all. But if they would fix this, then these would actually be great Parallettes. So the grip of the RaMaSS Parallettes is super nice, and also these are very stable Parallettes. And when it comes to the anti-slip feet, when I did a wide push-up, then it was sliding slightly, so they are not perfect. And also when we tested it out on a different flooring to the side, they were definitely not as good as to the front. But for the rest, they kind of do their job. But when we were checking out the wooden Parallettes, we definitely found better anti-slip feet. But for the metal Parallettes, these are definitely nice. So now that RaMaSS is the baseline of the metal Parallettes, let's see whether the next three are going to be worth the price jump, starting with CalisthenicsPro. Alright, so when it comes to the grip of the CalisthenicsPro bar, this one is actually quite nice, but it's more slippery compared to the RaMaSS Parallettes. So we do think that you need chalk on this one. When it comes to stability, these are also super stable. And when it comes to the anti-slip feet, this was interesting because actually on this floor it was perfect, it definitely did its job. But when we took it to a more slippery floor, then it did slide more compared to the RaMaSS Parallettes. So basically these are very similar to the RaMaSS Parallettes, so we don't think that this one is going to be worth the extra money. So when it comes to the grip of the Marmati Parallettes, it has a very nice grip. One thing when it comes to the stability though, it has like quite narrow feet, and because of that you can definitely tilt it to the side, so this is not so nice. And when it comes to the anti-slip feet, these definitely did their job on this floor, but when we took it to the more slippery floor, it definitely moved both directions, so also that can definitely be improved. So while it's super nice that Marmati creates sustainable products, we do think that in the current state of this product, it is not worth the extra money. So FitnessKit. When it comes to the grip of these Parallettes, it's actually super nice. It is quite smooth, but if you use chalk, it's definitely going to be very nice. And when it comes to the stability, these are super stable. When it comes to the anti-slip feet, we used them on this surface and it definitely did its job. We also used it on a more smooth surface, and then it slightly was moving when I was pushing it to the side. But honestly, these Parallettes, they are very nice, but they are also the most expensive out of all of these. And it's very nice that you can take them outside and leave them there. But honestly, since you can just carry Parallettes easily, we don't think that it's per se needed with this kind of product. So while we are a big fan of FitnessKit, we don't really think that these Parallettes are worth the price. So basically our favorite metal Parallette is the RaMaSS Parallette, because this one is the cheapest and it is definitely a very nice Parallette. It's super stable, has very nice grip. The only thing is that the anti-slip feet, they're definitely not perfect. They do their job, but if you compare these anti-slip feet to the anti-slip feet of the wooden Parallettes that we discussed, then those are just much better. But if you prefer metal Parallettes, you can definitely get these, but just know that you're definitely sacrificing a little bit on the anti-slip feet. So before we conclude, we found out that 94% of our viewers don't actually subscribe. So subscribe so that we can make more and better reviews for you with more and more partners. So sadly, there's not one perfect Parallette in this comparison, but these four definitely stand out. So first of all, we have the Ringe Parallettes. These are only 60 euros, and also they are super stable. They are a bit short though, and the grip is a bit smooth, and also the anti-slip feet can move slightly, but they're definitely very nice Parallettes. And when it comes to the Gorletic Parallettes, these are only 70 euros and they have a perfect grip and perfect anti-slip feet. When it comes to the stability, you can move them slightly to the side if you want to, but I really like the interlocking system of this one. And when it comes to Gornation, these are 100 euros and these are also super stable. The grip is a bit smooth and the anti-slip feet also slightly move, but these are definitely very nice. And when it comes to the RaMaSS Parallettes, these are 70 euros, and of course these are the only metal Parallettes. And I really like the grip of this one, but since it doesn't take up your sweat, we would advise you to use some chalk or grip tape. And also these Parallettes are super stable, but the anti-slip feet are not perfect, so you will be sacrificing on that compared to the wooden Parallettes over here. But if you are looking for a metal Parallette, then these are definitely very nice Parallettes. And if I had to choose one of these Parallettes, it would be the Gorletic ones. And on most of the Parallettes discussed in this video, we can actually get you 10% off with our discount code CWW10. So click the links in the description or here to support our channel, and then we'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.